So you want to track a mega amount of well-qualified buyers, right? Hey everybody, it's Tahoe Tony, and this is part 2 of the Mega Open House series. If you haven't watched part 1, I don't know why you'd be watching part 2, so go back and watch part 1. Quick review, there's a lot more details in part 1, but you got to walk the neighborhood prior to an open house. If you've got the time, you're going to generate a lot of leads that way, and an open house is a good excuse to generate leads in a neighborhood. Number 2, you want to have lots of signs out there. I've added pictures of the signs in this video so you could see them. Make sure they have a big arrow on there. Make sure it says open house. I crack up when I see these people with the signs. It's this big white sign and little letters in there, and you're like, you don't understand it till you get up to it. You got to remember, people are driving by 45 miles per hour, and they're going to want to see these signs, and you want to put the signs out, quarter mile back so that they see the signs with an arrow going forward, and then at the intersection, arrow going right. I was looking on Brent Gove's site today. I've added pictures of his signs as well. I love it. He says, must see open house. How cool is that, right? Does that stand out? And is that better than anybody else's signs? You betcha. He also has a free list of area homes on there. That is a technique that's worked real well in the past. Might still work well with people. I don't know. A lot of people have the information on their phones, but you never know. Also, make sure the house is listed on Zillow and the other sites as an open house, because there's people that get up in the morning just to go look at open houses. And then you make sure you want to do the Facebook Live the morning of. Hey, there's an awesome open house right here at 123 Tyner Way. Gonna be here till 3 o'clock. It's Tahoe Tony. You gotta see this house. You'll never believe the lake view, right? It's a teaser. If you want to get them there, if you walk through the entire house, they're not gonna have any reason to go up there. Just let them get a teaser, okay? All right, so you've done all this beforehand. Now, the morning of the open house, what do we do, right? One of the big mistakes I see agents do is when people come in, they rush the door. Hey, welcome. I'm Johnny from Remax, right? Relax. Let the people come in the house a little bit and breathe. You hate that when you walk into a retail store, someone's right there going, hey, can I help you? What do you need? You're like, no, buddy, I'm just looking around, right? Most people are going to come with that attitude. They don't like salespeople. Nobody likes to be sold anything. It doesn't make you feel good. So you got to remember, you got to keep in your mindset that most people walking in think you're going to try and sell them this house, all right? So you need to change that without them knowing it, that you're here to serve them. So you need to keep that mindset the whole entire time you're at the open house. So just keep that in the back of your mind. So what I like to do when I have an open house, I do not have a big sign-in sheet. I don't think that's very valuable. I don't think people like to be putting their name on a list. Nobody likes that. What I do is I invest a little bit of money in personal little clipboards, look kind of cool, and I make a little card for each person. Welcome to Tahoe Tony's open house. And if you get their name and number, excellent. You've done a great job. Don't worry, I've got a copy of this for you, and I've got one without the Tahoe Tony and the old logo on there. And then their address, and then their email address, right? If you can get their email address, now you can be in contact with them. And if people don't want to give you that information, don't worry about it. Don't pressure them to do that. You're going to lose. So, and then next. So, you want to decide what brought that person here. So I asked, what brought you here? Was it all the signs? I got a bunch of arrows. Was it Zillow? Was it the Facebook Live? Whatever it is. If you know what they see, you know the type of person you're dealing with. It's a hint. It's giving you an idea of what they do. Plus, these are easy questions for them to answer, and they're going to feel happy about it. Because the next question, are you working with an agent? If they're working with an agent, let them know that you're going to call that agent and let them know that they came by, or ask their permission. It might be better. Say, hey, you're working with Janice. Do you mind if I call Janice to let her know you came by? She's a friend of mine. I really like her, and I want her to know, that you were here. That's a professional thing to do. After they leave, I always call the other agent they're working with, because it says, who are you working with? If so, who? I want to call that other real estate agent for a few reasons. One, I want to be professional and do the right thing. Two, I want to give them a heads up. There's a good chance if the people like the house, they may want to write an offer and say, hey, Janice, Mary and Rick came by 123 Tyner Way today. They seem to like the house. Just to give you a heads up in case they want to write an offer or they're going to call you about it or anything. It's that 3-car garage, 4-bedroom, 3,800 square foot house in Tyner Way with a nice lake view. Call me if you have any questions. Now, that does a few things. It makes you look professional to that other agent, to the agent's clients, and there's a good chance you may want to invite that agent to come to EXP someday, and if they know you're doing the right thing and you're being professional, that's going to get you a notch up in their book. So I'm always thinking about leads. I'm always thinking about leads for other agents, leads for clients all the time, and that's what you want your mindset to be. So next question I ask, what is your comfortable price range? And why do I ask it that way? I don't want to ask them what they can afford, because that's kind of rude. I can also ask them, have you been pre-qualified? So I work in Incline Village mostly, and almost all of the stuff is cash. Not a lot of people doing financing. If they are, it comes up. But if you're working in Reno or some other metropolitan city where there's a lot of people are going to be getting financing, this would be a spot where you want to put on your card, have you been pre-qualified and for how much? If so, for how much? So you know, if you've got an $800,000 house and they're pre-qualified for $400,000 house, let them see the house, but then think of other properties that might be of value to them. Like, oh, have you seen that house over on Johnson Lane? That's $400,000. Just came on the market over, on Friday. Have you seen that one yet? I can show it to you right now if you like. You don't have to stay there. You can go show them the house, or you can say, hey, look, I'll be done with this open house at 3 o'clock. Do you want to meet me there at 3:20? They're going to love that. So remember, when people are coming in your open house, there's a good chance they don't have any loyalty to an agent yet. If they do, they've marked it on there, right? So that's why I asked that. At this point, they don't have any loyalty to an agent. And there's a good chance they're going to several open houses today. So you need to stand out as an agent. You need to look professional. And you need to let them know that you're working for them and you can sell them any house in your city, not just the house you're standing in. So that's a very key point that you want to remember. And then most people don't think of it that way. They may not know. They definitely don't think that way, that they think you're there to sell them that house they're standing in. And you got to let them know you can sell them any house and you do a really good job at it and you can provide the best real estate experience ever, right? So let them know that in a roundabout way. You don't want to be shouting that at them, or, hey, I'm Tahoe Tony, I'm going to provide you the best real estate experience. If you want to try that, you can. Let me know if it works. I'd love to hear if it does, okay? So find out if they're pre-qualified, if you're working in a place where there's a lot of loans, if you want to have your lender there on site. I mean, lenders are hungry right now. They might be willing to do the open house with you, right? Get them pre-qualified on the spot. You think that lender's going to be happy to be generating leads like that? If you've got an open house, you're attracting buyers and the lenders right there are getting leads. There's lenders that'll do that right now. I promise you that. And might be helpful too. Security reasons for having another person in the house, just so you're not there by yourself. So don't be afraid to ask a lender. You know, you may not be able to get the owner of the company, but there's probably some newer people that'll be willing to do that, that can pre-qualify people and are happy to provide excellent service. Because remember, anybody you're working with, that's your team in everybody's eyes. So they're going to want to make sure that you have a professional team. So don't get somebody who doesn't know what they're doing. Get somebody who knows what they're doing, is hungry and wants to help you. So having a lender on board. So if I was working in a city with lots of financing, I would add that as the next line. Have you been pre-qualified? If so, for how much? And by who? What company? Is it like Rocket Mortgage, or is it a local company? That's a big difference where I live, because they have different appraisers and they can jack things up sometimes. We don't want that. So on my sheet, the next question is, what is your desired location or feature? And why do I ask this? Remember, these people are coming into the open house. They don't have any loyalty to you. They may not have any loyalty to any agent yet. So you're trying to build up rapport to get them to like you so they feel comfortable working with you. So you got to keep that in your mind. So when you ask them what is their desired location or feature, you're building rapport with them. If they say, well, I need a 3-car garage, I'm like, oh, really? Are you a car enthusiast? And you get them talking. Maybe they've got this sports car they really love, or maybe they have a Corvette, or they'll tell you, oh, well, we have the 2 SUVs and the sports car, or I need a place for my boat. These are all things that are going to help you build rapport with them. It's very important. Or we're like, well, we have 3 dogs. Okay, now that you know that, if they're big dogs, they're going to want a good-sized backyard. Or if they're little dogs or whatever feature it is, just get them to start talking about that, and then ask some pertinent questions without getting too personal. And say, oh, can I ask, what kind of dogs are they? Oh, great. Oh, neat. This is important to people. If they're telling you, this is one of the most important things they're telling you. So keep that in mind. Next, after they fill this out, I say, thank you very much. I take it and I put it somewhere private so they know I value their privacy and I'm being professional. They're going to respect me for that. I let them keep the pen. I've got Tahoe Tony pens. These cost about 89 cents. I buy them 500 at a time. I give these out instead of business cards. I'll tell you another story about that some other time. I'm being professional. I've not bombarded them. I'm starting to build rapport. The next question, very important. Would you like hopefully I know their names by now. Would you like me to give you a tour of the house, Rick and Mary, or would you like to just wander around and on your own leisure? Let them decide. Again, I want them to be comfortable. Most of the time, they're going to want to just wander around the house. If they do want a tour, obviously I'm going to give them a tour. Now, all the while you're building rapport, you want to try and figure out what kind of personality type they are. I taught a class in Icons University. It's how to maximize your sales using the 4 different personality types. Why did I do that? Because I learned this several years ago and it's made a huge difference in my life. If somebody comes in, there was times when people come in, I'm like, wow, I could not build rapport with that person. What is wrong? Because I'm not a very detail-oriented person, but when I'm working with someone very detail-oriented, I have to be very detail-oriented and they're going to be more comfortable. And after I learned all this stuff, I realized, oh yeah, that's why those people would diss me, because I'm talking big, thinking big, like where would you put your Christmas tree? Or could you imagine having a 4th of July party out here in this backyard? And if somebody's in the details, they want to know the exact square footage, the price per square foot. They want to know the appreciation rate of the town. And I wasn't connecting with them. So I learned. So now I learned. So anytime I start building rapport with someone, even when I see them walking in based on their dress and what they're wearing, I'm starting to get an idea of their personality type. And reason I'm doing that is so I can make them more comfortable. Basically, I'm speaking a language they understand and like, and that gets me more sales. Getting more sales equals more commissions equals a more comfortable lifestyle, a happy lifestyle, and that's why we're doing this, right? So take the time to learn about the different personality types. Reach out to me if you want. There's a great book that I learned most of my stuff from. It's only like $11. The information is invaluable. So you're building rapport with them. If they're walking around the house, if you got a bunch of valuables in the house, obviously you want to try and keep an eye on them if you can. But I don't stand too close to them. I'm far enough away that if they ask a question, I can answer it, but I'm not right in their back pocket. So if they want to have a private conversation like, oh, I hate this house, or God, that's an ugly fireplace, they don't want me to hear that because they think they'd be insulting me. Or if they're like, oh my God, we've got to have this house, we've got to buy this house, they don't want me to hear that either, because they may want to write an offer on the house. So either way, they don't want me to hear their private conversation. But at the same time, I want to be there to answer any questions they may have. Like, for instance, I had a house that I was doing open house, and it had a dumbwaiter in the kitchen, but it was kind of around the corner a little bit. It was hard to notice. But the sellers loved it because they have a great room downstairs with a big theater, and they would fill it with drinks and guacamole and chips and everything, and then send it downstairs, and then it just made it very convenient. But a lot of times people didn't notice it, but some people did. So I would wait till they would go through the room, and as they're leaving the room, then I would ask, hey, most people don't notice that there's a dumbwaiter back here, and the sellers really loved it because it's really convenient. Now, if you know what these people like already, you can say something like, if they said they like red wine, like, you can fill it for red wine and send it down there, or whatever it is they may like or don't like, you can mention that to try and tie in that rapport. So they walk through the house. If they hadn't filled out the card at the end of the house and you built up rapport, I can ask them, like, hey, Rick, do you mind if I get your email address now? Because I'd love to, if there's other houses that come up, I'll just shoot you some. I'm not going to barge you with a bunch of emails. And at this point, Rick maybe say, oh yeah, Tony, you've been great. Let me help, let me give you my email address. Another thing, make sure you can read their writing. Sometimes I've gotten these and I can't read the writing. Maybe it's on purpose. Maybe that, maybe people don't have good writing. But I always make sure that I can read the writing before they leave. And then also, what's very important is after they've left, if they've told me anything personal about them, I put it on the back of the card and I make notes, because there's a good chance people are coming in and I may not remember. But at the end of the day, I'm going to take this and I'm going to put it into my KV core, and I'm going to add them as buyers, put the open house date that they came in, how I met them, all that. And any notes, you know, they had 3 dogs, whatever, the kids are in college, whatever it is. So if they come back, you know, in luxury market, they're not buying in like 30 days. A lot of times it's 3 months or 6 months or 9 months out, sometimes even a year out before they want to buy something, and they may not correspond with me in that time. So if they call me in 6 months and like, hey, Tony, it's Rick and Mary, do you remember us? And I'm like, oh yeah, do you still have those 3 dogs? So I'm like, oh yeah. They love that. You're right on track to start building that rapport again, okay? And if they've given you a call back, obviously you've done a good enough job. So very important to keep notes on the clients. If you're doing a mega open house and you've got 80 people going in there, you may not be able to do all this, but if you've got the time, that's something I like to do. Again, if you're doing like an open house in a big city and you've got a bunch of people coming in, get help with the lender. Brent told a story that he got something like 38 social security numbers and got people pre-qualified the next Monday morning, and had 17 sales from that one open house. So that is amazing. If you could do half those numbers, you're going to be super stoked. So I've got the information they've left. I'm uploading the information in a KV course so I can keep in contact with those people. And I asked them, would you like to get my monthly newsletter? Would you like to get my weekly notification? What would you like? You know, I work for you. I let them know that I work for them. Remember, they don't know yet that I want to work with them no matter where they buy. They think I'm trying to sell this open house. So remind them that, hey, I can work for you. I can show you any house. Again, if this isn't their price range, oh, that's great. Well, what is your comfortable price range? Oh, I know 2 great houses you should see. Have you seen those yet? Well, open house ends at 3 o'clock. Do you want to go then? Or if you have that lender there, hey, we can pop down the street. I know they're vacant. I can use my lockbox and get you in there right now. Again, you're providing a service for them. You're trying to stand out because, like I said, there's a good chance they don't have any loyalty to a realtor yet, because if they did, they would have told you. And they may go to the next open house down the street and get a different realtor, and you've lost out. So keep that in mind when you're working people. Let them know that you can show them any house in town. You're happy to sell them any house in town, and that you can do it right now if you want, especially if you have another lender or another agent there working with you. Again, if it's busy for security reasons, it's not a bad idea to have another person there with you. All right, so you did all the signs, you did the Facebook Live, you did walk the neighborhood, you got the information, you built up rapport. I've got 2 more things I want to share with you in the next video, which are going to make you stand out and make you stand out among other realtors. One little thing I do with my clients, if I've built up rapport with them, somewhere I'll have bags, like whether there's 1 or 2, but I've got a Tahoe Tony mug. Check that out, right? So Tahoe Tony mug, it's got my name, my contact information, and the EXP logo on there, and my license number, so I'm keeping it legal for Nevada. And I'll have these bags. Sometimes I'll have 2 mugs in a bag, or there's 2 people. And it costs me about $10 with the bag and everything. And it goes a long ways. If I'm building rapport with someone, I'll give them that bag. That, you know, they're gonna keep that in their car somewhere, and they're gonna see it. I had a guy that just called on like a Realtor.com ad and asked me to show it to him. I showed it to him. He was really tight. I couldn't build up any rapport. He was talking to his fiance on the phone most of the time he was there. And then he had to go to a meeting, so he split. And I didn't have a lot of rapport with him, but I gave him one of my mugs. The next day he drove back down to San Francisco that night. And he's like, hey, I'm super glad I had that mug because I ended up getting coffee and I use it. I have your number now. There's another house. I want to see it. Can you show it to me tomorrow? And he ended up writing an offer on that house for $600,000. So I got a commission off that because he had that mug. Would he have called me? I don't know. He was just calling ads. I mean, he was just calling realtors from these ads. So it wasn't like he had any loyalty to me. And I didn't have the opportunity to build in rapport with him. But I gave him a little gift and it went a long way. I'll do that if I'm going to go on a listing appointment. If people call like this guy did and they want to like, hey, can you show me this house? I'll bring the mugs. I'll find out how many people are going to be there and bring them mugs. That makes a little bit of a difference. And that's what you got to do to stand out. Okay, so part 3 is coming up next. I've got, like I said, I've got 2 big tricks there I want to show you. It's a reminder here. If you're going to do a sign-in sheet when people come in, don't rush them at the door. Give them a chance to relax and be comfortable. Try and figure out their personality type so you can speak in their comfortable terms. Get a personalized thing. I'm going to add this to the bottom of the video so you'll be able to create this on yourself, put your own name and your own logo on there, And again, if you're working in a city that does a lot of financing, add that line. I think that would be very helpful for you. Keep this private, look professional. If you want to get a pen with your name on it, they're 89 cents. Talk to me, I'll show you how to get those. And then in the next video, I'm going to show you 2 great things that's going to make you stand out because I'm invested in your success. Tahoe Tony.